Hello, welcome to Dual Credit World History B, Unit 3. Um, this unit is about global conflicts, mainly about World War II, which is super interesting stuff. And one of the things that I really, really love to study. Okay, I think that first of all, I'm going to share with you the project that is due, whoops, that is due in Unit 4. It is due right before lesson 20. Okay, so right after lesson 19. All right, and the project is called, stupid thing, The Bloodiest Century. Okay, so the idea is that in a news article, the 20th century is described as the bloodiest century ever. The author of a book about the subject says, "Three things seem to me necessary to explain the extreme violence of the 20th century. These may be summarized as ethnic conflict, economic volatility, and empires in decline. There is another theme in this colossal survey, the descent of the West, which means the American century will actually be remembered for the exhaustion of the West and the rise of China," which is kind of interesting. So, what I want you to do is take that and give me reasons why you think that. Make a presentation telling me why this is the bloodiest century, why the 20th century is the bloodiest century. Okay, so I need you to include three examples of things that happened in the 20th century that make it a bloody century in the history of the human race. Please don't do an entire war, meaning please don't cover World War II, okay? That's boring. I know about World War II. I don't want to hear about that, okay? Um, Please, each paragraph needs to be 6 to 8 substantial sentences, and a picture should also be associated with each paragraph, okay? So, at the beginning, you need to have an introduction to tell me why this was the bloodiest century and to give me examples of why. And then you need to give me three examples. And then at the end, you need to have a works cited in MLA format. Okay? And I have some sources that are also listed at the bottom. Okay, so slide 1 is an introduction. Tell me how this century was the bloodiest with your battles to support it. Slide 2, battle number 1 with a picture, 6 to 8 sentences. Slide 3, battle number 2. Slide 4, battle number 3. You get the idea. Slide 5 is a conclusion, and then a work cited in MLA format. Okay? If your pictures don't fit on the above slide, that's okay. Just put it on another slide. No big deal. Okay? So I'm giving you sources right here. There's an article on ethnic cleansing, an article about major wars in the 20th century, an article that talks about the deadliest wars in the 20th century, and this another article that talks about the deadliest battles in the 20th century. Lily.org is a great resource for you to use. Okay, let me show you what you can do with it. I would go to World Book Student if it were me. You just have to enter your zip code and remember the ABCs. And so, if I were to find a certain battle that I wanted to do, I'm going to put a battle that wasn't in the 20th century, okay? So you can't use this one, okay? So I'll put Battle of Gettysburg. Okay? Okay, so here we have the Battle of Gettysburg, and here's some information about it. Okay, the cool thing I think about using this information is that you can click right here on how to cite this article, and you can just copy that for the MLA citation. Okay, no big deal. So that is pretty cool, I think. Okay, so let's say, for example, that you read about it, you decided that this is one that you want to do. Okay, go back to the project, see that you need to have a description of the battle, detailed, accurate, historical context, and key events. Okay, and then you need to tell me why it is considered one of the bloodiest of the century. Okay, so let's say that you decided that you wanted to do it through um, AI. Okay, so you might say, "Tell me about the Battle of Gettysburg in 4 sentences." Okay, so that gives you a good summation of the Battle of Gettysburg. Okay, so you could read that with this, all right, and decide if you think that that's true or not. Okay, and then when you put that in your slide, you might say something like, I talked to ChatGPT about the Battle of Gettysburg, and here is what I found. Okay, and and then you could say, I agree with it or I disagree with it. I think that it's a pretty accurate summation. Um, and then tell me why you think that it was one of the bloodiest battles. Okay, that one is up to you, right? Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so that is something that is also available to you, but talk to me about it. Tell me what you found and tell me what you think about it, okay? So, so that is for project 4, which is due at the end of lesson 19. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. Okay? Library of Congress also has some really good stuff if you decide to go that way too. All right? So, back to this. Okay. So, lesson 11 talks about between the wars and what happened, after World War One, and in the United States, the stock market crashed. In other countries, there was also an economic downturn. In Germany, they had been split up after World War One, and so they were really, really upset about the economic downturn. Okay. So then we've got the beginning of World War One. Here we have Adolf Hitler, and it talks about the rise of fascism. Okay. So this is Hitler and Mussolini and what they were doing at this time to cause to make the war to happen. Okay. Then we'll learn about the European theater and what was going on in Africa and in Italy and in Europe as a whole. We'll also talk about the Holocaust. I actually took a college class on the Holocaust, which was super interesting, and I learned a lot about the Holocaust. So I'm going to have you complete discussion 14, which is about the Holocaust, okay? And it's going to refer you to, I didn't do it right, to this page that talks about the Holocaust and literature, all right? And I believe that I have read all of these books anyway. So it'll just kind of take you through, and then you'll answer some questions and kind of see what you think. And then at the end, go ahead and put everything together and answer it in a discussion post. Okay? Cool. Okay, so after the Holocaust, then you will learn about the Pacific Theater, and you'll learn about the Navajo Code Talkers, which is super cool, and you'll learn about the atomic bomb. And the atomic bomb is what ended World War II, but also what started the Cold War. Okay? Um, and, the Cold War wasn't entirely the Cold War. We'll talk about this next unit, because there were some lives lost during the Cold War as well. All right. So remember that while you are going through the World War II, and perhaps even if you remember some things from World War One, go ahead and jot them down and start on your project, okay, about the bloodiest century. You have all the resources, you have all the stuff that tells you about the project, okay? So, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks so much. Bye.